really hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, like, and click the bell to be notified of more fantastic music content just like this. Welcome to the Need to Know Music Show with me, Ronan MacManus, here on Switchbox TV. Today I'm joined by a country singer who started releasing music in 1995 and had a #1 right away with what mattered most. And he's now blazing a trail for the LGBTQ plus community in country music with his annual concerts for love and acceptance, which this year went virtual for the first time due to the obvious situation that we're in globally. So please welcome Ty Herndon. How are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing really well, considering I've had almost a year vacation.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a bit of a strange old year for us all, hasn't it? You know, so what's it been like for you?
Well, the funniest part is that I've been on the road touring since I was 11 years old. I mean, that's how long I've been out. I mean, I had my first hit country record when I was in the '95, but before that, I traveled with my family. We were a Christian band. We went to camp meetings and revivals, and we were, you know, I was actually a young preacher at the age of 12. So
wow,
it was really crazy to be sitting at home this much. But my family, they've never been around me this much as long as they've known me. They've had to learn to like me.
I think that's been a challenge for us all, spending much more time with the ones closest to us. It can be tense at times.
Nobody's divorced anybody, so we're good. We're good to go. But, I mean, it's been an especially difficult time here in Nashville, well, around the world for musicians and entertainers and actors and singers and Broadway. I mean, it's just, you know, people are losing their homes and their cars and you know, our music community is giving as much as they can, and it's just it's been really hard to see that, and you know, and also it's been really hard not to have a pity party, because I'm really an up with people kind of person. But you know, the last 5 years of my life was set for this book, documentary, 145 tour dates, and in a matter of 2 days it was all gone. So I'd like to tell you that I handled it well in the beginning, but I did not. I was really angry, and I had some issues I had to work through. You know, you think you're grown up, so you go through something like that, and then you just become a brat. And I'm a pretty spiritual guy, and I was having to have some harsh words with the man upstairs. So, I haven't done that, but it wasn't necessarily you know, about the loss of things for me, because you know, I eventually was able to frame it like, you know, it's not lost, it's just postponed. And we have my friend Christian Chenoweth, we'll talk about in a moment. My friend Christian Chenoweth said to me, we have one job, and that's to get through it and to lead people through it, and give as much as we can, and love as much as we can. And that's we decided to do a project together and throw some love out there with a really cool song. And so we're just getting through it, man.
We're losing some of the picture here along the bottom. There's something covering.
What's happening?
Aha!
My little look younger light was slip sliding away.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what that was either. I was like, what is that? Why is it doing that? There we go.
Excellent.
I was like, is my computer fading out? But yeah, our job is just to put as much love and understanding out there, and help as many people as we can. And you know, we had a devastating tornado right here in my neighborhood, just a block away, right before all the pandemic, the virus hit. And and I see people still, because we have not even been able to clean that up properly. So I see people going by with their garden wagons, still picking up things, just slowly, people just helping out. So the human spirit is strong, and you know, I'm a big advocate. You're getting me at the end of the day, so I'm chatty, so that's good.
That's good. That's good.
I'm a big advocate for, you know, people do what they're supposed to do. You know, some of my own family down south, in the South, don't want to wear the mask. I'm like, I know you live in a rural small town, but you're also endangered. wear your mask, do what you're supposed to do. If not for yourself, for me, do it for your grandkids, do it for,
Yeah.
outside of ourselves and do what's right. And that's the preacher in me. It's just like, it's real simple, folks. Until this is gone, we have to do what they tell us to do, pretty much. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely been this year we've seen some of the really good sides of human spirit as well. There's been a lot of community togetherness. There's been a lot of helping. There's been a lot of, there's a lot of charity things going on, and I think it's we've definitely seen a lot of the good sides, some of the bad sides too, but we've seen a lot of the positives come out of this. I think in the face of
real jerks out there too. Yes, there have been.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't forget those guys either, but come on. Let's hear it for the good guys.
So, I always like to say there's a lot of beauty out there, and there's a lot of beautiful roses, but there's also some weeds. We need to
It certainly is. So you mentioned your musical upbringing, like that's where it all started for you. So that was just kind of a natural thing for you to go into music. Is that right?
There we go. I got a glare on my glasses. I'm looking kind of evil. There we go. That's coming from. Yeah. If I take them off, I can't see you.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing for you. Yeah.
My legacy in music is, wow. I wouldn't take anything in the world for it. There were singers in my family that blew me away, and to this day, family reunions are pretty awesome because we go home and for holidays. The grandparents have gone on now, and it's you get up in your 50s and you start seeing people go away, and
yeah,
families dwindling, but some of those great voices are quiet now, but they live in me. They do. I probably was the least singer of all of them, but I had a desire in me, and I always tell the kids, the LGBTQ kids, and all kids, when I talk to them, you have dreams, and dreams are amazing, but there's a desire in that dream that's undeniable, and it's so recognizable. And if you really, really want to follow your passion, make sure that you really have all your heart, you have a desire to do it, because I don't care what walk of life you're from. If you have a desire to do it and your talent stands out, you're going to be successful. I've been through a lot of crap in my life, but my talent has always won. I mean, from addiction to just stupidity, but I've always had this gift that I believed in, and all else was crumbling around me. I knew I had that, and it always worked by the grace of God until recently. I've taken that advice to myself. This is my dream, and I live it every day. But all of a sudden, there was nowhere to take it. I was like, wow. I go out on the road to figure out problems. To financially be secure, to have quiet, to do writing and paperwork. I mean, it's just everything. My life is on the road, and I do enjoy being home. I do a lot of stuff at home as well. But that piece of my puzzle was definitely gone, and I wasn't alone. I've talked to a lot of my artist friends, and they're like, I won't name any names, but one of my very successful female friends did not leave her bedroom for 3 months. She did not know what to do with herself. And it's just, everybody has a story. Mine, and I just talked about it. It's 200 kids on Zoom this last Thursday. I'm not perfect, and I didn't go into this perfect. I actually had pretty much a nervous breakdown at the beginning of this, because I was battling some illness anyway that we later found out was black mold in my home. So I couldn't get well, and all of a sudden I'm a 6-mile runner, and all of a sudden I could barely run a mile, and couldn't figure out what it was. And then the pandemic hit, and then I was isolated. I don't do good by myself. I was isolated alone, and we have a little condo downtown, and I ended up being isolated, kind of trapped there with me and my thoughts, and that's not a good thing. But I got through it. And I learned what I learned about myself is that I'm a really strong man. I hit things head on, and I learned that everything can't be hit head on. You have to take a step back, and especially when you're dealing with yourself. And there were some things I still needed to work on, and I had to kind of come face to face with them. And thank goodness it had nothing to do with addiction. It just had to do with depression, sadness, and just feeling like I honestly felt like, what is there to live for? And I'd never felt that way before with anything that I had been through. But with the help of some great therapists, I even got one of my therapists out of retirement. I was like, no, this is too dark. You got to come into the darkness. I got to get out of here. And she goes, no, you need to sit there a while. She said, there's something in that for you. And I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not going to do that. She goes, well, you really don't have a choice. So, but I know now that any situation in my life ever, that there will never be that kind of darkness again. I mean, I feel like that I was living with some of that darkness inside of me. And I told the kids this other day, I said, the worst things in your life, you're going to want to push down. You're going to want to bury. You want to just, they're just going to be so tight in your body. And I probably had about 10 of those things, and they just about devoured me. And
wow.
But I had to go into those rooms and face them, and face some fears. And claustrophobia is one of them. I thought I put long behind me, and all of a sudden here I am. To me, it felt like a little black box. And I'm my mother's son. I'm as OCD as they come. So they'll probably have to remove those baseboards. I sold that condo because I'm every day I'm down there with a toothbrush. I mean, Mr. OCD was at it. So
wow.
Just crazy stuff, man. But I'd like to think we're not out of the woods yet, but I'd like to think that maybe in the worst of our times, we can find the best thing in us. And that's been a huge thing for me.
It sounds like maybe that those are things that you need, that you're better off having faced, and maybe this sort of making you stand still for a few months,
right?
Which, because sounds like you're always constantly moving. Maybe that was like, in the long run, this was necessary for you for some personal growth, which is
Yes.
It's good to hear that there's some. I think we all faced a bit of a slight darkness at first, and a wind out of our sails, and then I think there's a sort of a need to connect with people, a need to innovate, to think, well, okay, this isn't going away anytime soon. We're going to need to do something here. Have you been doing some live streams and that kind of thing musically? Was there something you've been doing? Any of that kind of thing? What have you been doing to reconnect?
I did. I started out. I did a 5-week series, and it just I hated it. It felt there was just no connection to the audience that I was trying so hard to connect, and I stopped. I stopped for a while. I'm about to relaunch another 5 weeks because I also learned something else about myself. It's not always about connecting. It's not about what you need. It's not about what you feel like is best for you. It's not, because that may not be the best show. So what I'm incorporating now, which we'll announce next week, I'll go ahead and tell you, it's not a huge secret. I'm going to have some guests on, and we're going to talk about how they got through the pandemic. We're going to talk about things, and that's the entertainment of it, and it's also the lessons of it.
Yeah.
I am a teacher. I mean, that's what I'm no longer a preacher. I'm a teacher. Sometimes a preacher. There's definitely been an element of that lately, but I think music is important, and we'll do music. And there's some things I want to talk about that I want the fans to know, and so it's going to be a little more in depth, and almost like a variety show, I guess. Yeah, because I found out I'm a TV producer with Love and Acceptance. I didn't know I had that in me, but I wore the producer hat with Zeke Stokes all the way through, and Jeremy Ryan. We, as a matter of fact, when it was all said and done, our partners, CMT and GLAAD, were like, well, dang, we know you guys are doing a television special. I was like, yeah, we did.
Wow.
Our first time, we wanted to make an impression, and we wanted to hang with the big boys, and we did, because it's an important show. It is. And we've put our hearts and soul into those live shows for 5 years now. And I can tell you, I have Miss Kristen Chenoweth to thank that we even did it, because I wasn't going to do it. I was just, I was going to just bow out like everyone was doing. We'll do it next year. And she goes, well, isn't that convenient for you? I said, guess it kind of is. It's not a lot of hard work. And she goes, but you like hard work. I said, I do. She goes, do the show. Do the show virtually like everybody's doing, and just do it better than everybody else is doing it. I said, okay, I'll do the show. I said, you're
Brilliant.
still coming, right? She goes, yes, I'm co-hosting. So, which led us to wanting to do something else important. And I was saying, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And I was sitting at this desk, and I was like, well, do what you do. Do music. And nobody says you can't put music out right now. And because I was planning on, the album was tanked, I was pouting about it. And so it was fine. I wouldn't put a record out till next year. And well, another thing I learned, it's no good. You get nowhere in life being a brat. And and now, those of you listening out there, I'm not always a brat. I was just a brat during this time. Pretty cool brat. But I was a brat during this time, and which got me nowhere. And so we produced. It's still available on YouTube. If you guys want to go watch it, it's a gorgeous show. And we had this. I always have to call artists to be on the show because it's during CMA Music Fest. Everybody's busy, and I get a lot of maybes. But this particular time, there was no CMA Music Fest, so everyone was around, and I actually had people calling me, which was nice because I knew their hearts. Some people had not been able to do it for the last 4 years that they really wanted to, and for them to reach out to me and say, "Can I do it?" It just showed me that their heart was true with wanting to do it, and we had a superstar lineup, man. It was so cool, and we have a loft here in Nashville, really safe, really open. We can social distance. And we had a lot of the artists just come in and film. We filmed them there. And
fantastic.
And we had this super idea to do a red carpet special because everybody loved the red carpet. We couldn't do red carpets. So we put a lot of up and coming artists on the red carpet. So we had 2 hours worth of music on the red carpet, which was incredible. So,
wow.
And then Kristen and I said, let's do a song together. And I knew that I was about to perform on Paul Cardall's album as well. And he's got a lot of fans out there, man. He's just he's kind of the Jim Brickman of his time. And I said, well, this is a gorgeous piano piece in this. Let's get him on this as well. And so we've got 3 record labels involved now, and an opportunity to push it out. This gorgeous song that was 17 years old.
This is Orphans of God.
Orphans of God. It was recorded as a contemporary Christian song. It was a huge hit for Avalon. Circle of Life. I was a huge Avalon fan, and Michael Passon's original member of Avalon, Melissa Green, original member of Avalon. Melissa's my pastor, and Michael's my best friend. And so I was like, okay, I had been wanting to do this song on the last 2 albums, but it just didn't fit. I'm like, why am I putting this contemporary Christian song on a country record just because I like it so much and it's done a lot for me in my life? That would have been reason enough, but record labels are kind of crazy sometimes. They're like, no. And so I was just thinking about what kind of song would we do, and I didn't get the thought out of my mind as Orphans of God came. I said, it's so perfect for right now.
Yeah. I was going to say it's a really important message for this year, isn't it?
It is. And I called Joel Lindsay because he's also one of the accidentally Joel wrote a bunch of songs for my Grammy nominated album Journey On, and I had no idea that he was a writer on Orphans of God. He was one of 2 writers, and I was like, I knew it later, but I didn't know when we were doing my album. And I called him and said, hey, how would you feel about kind of a contemporary version of Orphans of God? Not putting it out as a Christian song or any kind of spiritual song. It has that element because we're talking about God.
Yeah. I
said, would you be okay with rewriting maybe some of the words, just kind of to bring it up to date? And I said, I hate to mess with it, but I said, there are some things in it that the original version that sound a little churchy, and He goes, shut up. And I said, are you mad? He said, no. He goes, Avalon wanted to take the song secular, and we already have a version that's been rewritten, and so it's already done. I was like, what? Oh my God. I said, okay, we'll send them over. And almost Kristen's whole second verse is almost completely brand new. There's a few words in the first verse because it worked, and then the bridge has been rewritten. And even the true diehard Avalon fans said they love it because it's not exactly Avalon's song. We've made it something different. And bringing Kristen in, Kristen actually is adopted, so she's kind of an orphan in a different kind of way. She was, but she's got a lot of parents now. She's got her birth parents and her mom and dad, and she's well with her soul with that. But she loved it immediately. She actually was familiar with the song, and she said, okay. I said, well, I got it covered. I'll do the arrangement. And I said, do you trust me to do that? She goes, absolutely, I do. I said, okay. So I came up with this idea of just keeping it simple, but yet a nice country pop track with great soaring vocals, and I put her in somewhere she's not been before, because she's people know Kristen as this Broadway gal, this super soprano gal, but that pop voice that on the verses, people haven't heard a lot of that from her. I think she kind of debuted that on her last album, that she was singing some more pop licks. So Kristen Chenoweth wants you to produce her vocal. You should probably run for the hills. I said, I am not going to. I said, I produced the track. He goes, no, you have to. This is your baby. You have to drive me through this. She goes, right down to sing my parts, so I'll know what you're thinking. So the original version, I did my part, my verses. And then I'm in this mezzo soprano voice, and I sing hers just for a roadmap. And she loved that. And I sent it to Joel. He goes, I didn't know you had that kind of falsetto. I said, I didn't either. And we got.
So is that version ever going to see the light of day?
Probably. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Probably pretty good. And then I wanted her fans. There had to be that element of Kristen Chenoweth, that thing that people will go crazy over. I've seen her in concert many times. So that third modulation, it's just her. She goes into her soprano voice, and then the voices around her are Michael and Melissa. And I was like, now, do I have a part here? And I sat back and said, I do not have a part here. This is not my moment. This is Chenoweth land, where that's when it goes. And and then I come back in with her, but it just, there are little surprises in this thing that as a producer I couldn't have planned. They just happened, and we will not let this song go. We after Christmas, it is on my Christmas record because I needed to play. I was doing my this is my 20-year birthday for that Christmas record, so it's a re-release, remastered, and it's the perfect song to sit there with all those gorgeous Christmas songs. So, but after Christmas is over, we're doing a full-on video, the three of us, and a different arrangement will be released of the song. So that's all been planned out. So it's just, it will have some more stuff on it, and it will work the record well into next year.
Oh, fantastic! So it's got loads more to come.
More to come.
Fantastic! It's a great track. I mean, I've been really enjoying it, and I was going to look forward to hearing the album just re-gifted as the Christmas album. That's a great title.
I gifted it 20 years ago.
fantastic. But let's give some people the background on the concert for love and acceptance. It's just such a fantastically positive thing. You came out in 2014, and I loved what you did with What Mattered Most when you re-recorded it with the changing the pronouns and everything. It was such a great idea, and it was a song that you had the number one with back in '95, and to confront everything and at that time. But just wanted to bring it back. Before that, you had some issues with. I mean, I'm 3 years sober myself now, and I know how much getting sober changed my. It gave me so much more energy, and creativity just soared through the roof, and I felt like the chains had been taken off. What was that? I know you'd had some issues with all that stuff before. What was the feeling like coming out of that? I mean, what sort of, just tell us a little bit about that time of your life.
Sure, man. I mean, I'm 17 years in now, and I know it's sitting over there in the corner. That little bad boy stays right there. But you're right. I mean, you have more energy. I mean, you're able to live your life. You're able to show up for things, your commitments. It's just what I always like to tell the kids: don't do drugs because it makes you not be a normal person. If you think you're not normal now, wait till you get a load of this. And I said, you actually are. You're having the opportunity to be just normal as you can be right now. Just hang in there with that. And and my music got better. I mean, because I was sober for a long time, then I had a relapse, and then now this time it's been a long time again. But moving to LA relapsed me. I should have stayed in Texas. But I always like to say my 6 years in Los Angeles, I don't remember, but I'm sure they about killed me. Absolutely. But some great songs came out of it, and a lot of purpose. And I'm in my late 50s now, and I'm holding up pretty good. But I'd say because of my past, the rubber band's going to break really hard any day now. It's just going to all come down. I've got my dad bod going on right now, my COVID-19 dad bod. But for those of in recovery, I mean, there was no meetings. It was all online. It was, thank God for those. But that personal touch is so needed. And so, those are back up and running here in Nashville. So that's good. And then moving back to Nashville and being clean and just and starting new business relationships and really taking charge of my life was such a huge thing. And not feeling small, because I had felt small for so long. I didn't know how to feel big. I didn't know how to feel big in my space. And that's a pretty cool thing to do, to be able to walk in any room, no matter what, whether you're sitting next to Katy Perry at the Grammy Awards, she's a really cool girl, by the way. My favorite story is sitting with Katy Perry at the nominee dinner. And she told me that her mom was a big fan and that she had my cassettes when she was growing up. I said, "Did you see that?"
That's brilliant.
Hey, way to age me, babe. It's all good. Oh man.
But I mean, there was that I found that one of the main things that I felt was I had more control of my emotions, or I could deal with things better. My coping mechanisms were so much better. And so I'm wondering, with the time leading up to you coming out, and was that all part of that? Was it played a part in that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I had been sober a good long while when I made the decision to come out. And my family and a lot of my friends, the industry here in town, pretty much knew that I was gay. And
yeah,
I for the longest time had trouble even saying that word. It was like, because I'm a cowboy from Alabama. I grew up on a pig farm. It just the skin didn't fit, and it just And I just found out there's a lot of guys like me out there, and I was, I'm not the lone cowboy, not the lone gay cowboy. There, see, I was thinking I was special again, and I've grown to love who I am in my life, and I love. I'm a big jokester. I have a lot of fun, and the coming out part for me was simply for the fans and for a lot of the industry, and for the LGBT community worldwide, because I think the more successful people that can stand up and say, "Hey, this is me," and this is me fulfilling my full-on destiny card, my full-on authenticity card. I need to say this. It's about saying it, and I didn't think I'd say it in such a big way. I mean, I really just kind of planned to sit down and I'd done ET and Entertainment Tonight and People Magazine. That was enough, and because all of those magazines had done stories on me from the relapse, from the bad stuff. So they were really interested in the happy ending. So
yeah,
I was there with my partner, with Matthew, and in New York City of all places. And I love New York. I still love New York. And I got up that morning, and I was just calm as can be. I never felt a sense of panic. This was just the next part of the puzzle. It's just the next thing that needed to happen, because everything about me was so authentic, but I still found myself doing shows pretending to be someone I wasn't. And I didn't want to do that anymore. It's so funny. After I came out and I go out, it's been 5 years now, and I do shows, there's just an element of acting to all performance. There just is. So I'm still the cowboy, damn it.
But I think it's important. I think it's important that it's not everything that you are. You're still a singer. You're a musician first and foremost. And
what I tell the kids, I'm like, if you want to be a singer, if you want to be anything you want to be in this life, just study hard and be the best at it, because your true self's going to come through all that anyway. Don't try to hide that. But if you want to be a singer, then study singing. Be the best singer there is. If you want to be a songwriter, study songwriting, and come to this town or LA or New York and be knowledgeable about what you want to do. That will get you so much further, and you will be successful. And that's what I wish someone had told me. And I try to live truly through what I wish that I would have had and that I didn't, and especially with these kids. So, but 9 times out of 10, they teach me things. I don't teach them a damn thing.
Every day's a school day, as they say.
Yes. They tell me I'm square. Yeah. Cool.
No, it's great. It's fantastic. I mean, it's such a positive thing. Tell us a bit more about the Love and Acceptance concerts for Love, because they've been going 5 years now. What was the first one like, putting that together?
Well, the first one was actually just Ty Herndon and friends. So it's actually this is actually our 6th, but it's just our 5th that it was called Concert for Love and Acceptance. We named it after the first year. And I've been learning as I go with this, because I didn't really know exactly what I want. I just knew I wanted to stand for love and acceptance. But since then, I've kind of learned that it's how you use the word acceptance. So if someone's just tolerating you and accepting you, that's really not okay. But full on acceptance with love and acceptance, full acceptance. We accept you and love you for who you are, and you're awesome. That's the acceptance in our brand. So I always like to explain that.
Yeah.
I've had several people come up to me and go, well, why do I just want to be accepted? I'm like, well, there is that, but there's this. And I love being fully accepted for authentically who I am. And back to the shows for a second, then I'll talk about love and acceptance. The only time I talk about being gay in the shows is I say, guys, there's a big announcement about me. I don't know if some of you guys might have missed it. I said, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you because I can't stand having a secret. So if you missed it, here it is. I'm vegetarian. Yeah. So, and then I go right into the alternative version of What Mattered Most, which I do it the original way, the first verse and chorus, second verse and chorus. I do it the new way, and they love it. People, and then the last chorus, I go, everybody just sing whatever gender you want in there. Just sing it. But Love and Acceptance has become education. We give scholarships away. We give money to families in need, LGBTQ families, and we're a TV show now. That's pretty cool.
It's amazing, a TV show, yeah, brilliant. So is that going to be something you think you'll continue on doing them on? It seems like it's really worked.
Yeah, well, what we'll do is we'll film it live. Hopefully, we'll be back to Music Fest next year, and then we'll film the whole show and then edit it and then offer it as if you couldn't make it to Music Fest, it'll be available.
Fantastic, yeah. Well, it's such a great thing you're doing. It's such a positive message and so needed for so many people in the world right now. So thank you for what you're doing. It's a fantastic thing. So what?
I was learning to just be quiet and say thank you because I'm always like, no.
Yeah. Learn how to say thank you. Yes. Yeah. But so what's next for you? You've got the Regifted album coming out, and then next year we hope there's some live stuff going on that we don't know, obviously, but tentatively, what plans do you have?
New album. It's time for a new original album, which will probably have a lot of sad songs on it, which, that's just the way it is. I've already started writing and they're all pretty sad right now. But strong songs. Some stuff about healing. I don't want the whole album to be about, dumb creature from hell, COVID. So, it's just, that's what I call it, a dumb creature from hell.
There's going to be elements of that, I think, in a lot of albums. There's going to be a lot of reflection albums, and hopefully, yes, you're talking about there will be a lot of people who've gone on a lot of sort of personal kind of journeys and soul searching, and there'll be a lot of positivity out of that, surely.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel quite certain that Brad Paisley has already completely written his album, and it's probably all about COVID, and it's probably comical and funny. But a lot of artists have just took this time to write their records. I was not in the mood to write music. I was like, I had to be in a peaceful, happy place for that, even if I'm going to write a sad song, because I'm going to go in really deep, and I need to be in a good place to do that. And I was like, you guys are animals that are writing songs right now. I don't have it in me. So just now's the time for that. And hopefully we'll pick up the tour that got postponed. Unfortunately, we've seen 6 of those venues go under, and I hate that. So I'm going to be working diligently to hopefully see those guys reopen, which would be nice. It's one of them been there 30 years, and it's just like, oh man, I hate that because there's such a beautiful, cool music venue. So I hope that they can reopen. But touring, the book will finally happen next year. Yeah. And if Kristen Chenoweth has her way, there'll be a made-for-TV movie, 2 nights about this manuscript she's read already. I'm like, I said, you only want to do a movie because my book is The Kardashians meets Oprah Winfrey. That's the only reason you want to do it.
So who's playing you in the movie?
Oh God, I don't know. Blake Shelton.
You got to choose someone. Go on. Right, Shelton.
I mean, Kristen Chenoweth can play me. There we
go. Great answer. Great answer. Okay. Right, got a what would be a career highlight for you? What's something you look back on and that's the moment that you were most proud of?
Two things. I loved getting a Grammy nomination for an album that I wrote about my spirituality, and that was actually kind of the beginning of my coming out process. That album was just letting people know that I'm spiritual. I'm a God guy, and I'm not ashamed of it. And these are the reasons why. So I was super proud of that, and getting HR Human Rights honored me last year and gave me a really cool award just for being me, and I didn't think I'd ever see that. So that was a nice moment.
Fantastic. That's brilliant.
Oh, one more thing. And
go.
All 16 times on the Grand Ole Opry, of course.
Well,
every time.
That's fair enough. I've got one of my new favorite questions is dream gig time. You're first on the bill, and there's you're first. There's another person on, and then there's a headline. So who's the person on after you, and who's the headline? They can be alive or dead or any time in history, anything at all.
So
You've got complete.
You said I'm the opening act for the opening act.
You're the opening act, and then there's someone on, and then there's.
Okay. Oh man, my headliner is Bonnie Raitt, of course, always. She's my hero. And I'd have to put Vince Gill in that second slot.
Oh yeah, Vince Gill, amazing.
That'd be a Night of Music.
What a talent! That's good. Those tickets won't be on sale for very long. They'll be gone. They'll be snapped up.
She'll kill me because she's one of my dearest friends. I should say it'd be a tie between Chenoweth and Vince Gill for seconds.
Maybe Chenoweth can go on with you and share your slot. So we don't dislodge Gill or Raitt.
A lot of artist friends, so that's a really difficult question.
Well, you got to make a decision. We're not here to ask easy questions.
That's it. I stand by my decision.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, and we always ask for a recommendation for someone that people need to know, someone that they may not have heard of, or you can also take it as someone who's just been a massive influence in you over the years. Think of which any way you want to take it, but who would be your recommendation for people to go and check out?
Wow. Well, I just said Bonnie Raitt, but I also everybody's heard of Sheryl Crow. I'm a huge Sheryl Crow fan.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Carrie Underwood fan. You know, I actually have gotten to know her. She's pretty cool. But I would say probably I always tell the kids, go check out the kind of music you like, but check it out 20 years ago. You know, check out some of the people that came before your favorites, and then send a fan letter into that person and ask them, do they know who that person is? Because that was my thing in Nashville. I'd say, if you're going to come here and be a country star, you better know your heritage. You better know. You better have at least 10 records that you love that were an Opry member, that were Patsy Cline, that were Reba McEntire, that were Cowboy Copas. I can go way back. There were Ernest Tubb, that were just Roy Acuff, and you have heroes in what you do, and for every artist in this town, I cannot think of one. Even my new favorite's a girl named Gabby Barrett. She was on American Idol. The girl can sing from her toes to the top of her head. She's just great. She was just on the CMAs last night with Charlie Puth.
Brilliant.
Yeah, she was incredible. But I'm a firm believer in knowing your history, and for every artist in this town that has heroes in the past, a new little sound develops. You know, you take what your heroes did and you put your gift into it, and it's all just unique. And I love that.
Well, there's so much history in Nashville, so that'll keep people busy now. So yeah, I hope you get better soon, because you've got this sinus. I mean, I had sinus issues. I had an operation on my sinuses last year, and it's a tough thing. I've had issues with that my whole life, so I feel for you having that right now. But I hope you get well soon,
Thank you, man. And I'm a singer, and I live in the valley of everything green.
You get attacked left, right, and centre. Yeah. Oh, okay. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. It's absolutely brilliant to chat to you, Ty. It's been fantastic, and you know, thank you for sharing your story and sharing your music and for everything that you're doing for bring positivity to the world. Yeah, it's fantastic, and people should definitely check out everything that you're doing. What's the best place for people to keep in touch with what you're up to?
You know,
Social media.
I pay a lot of money for this website, so go check out the website. Everything Herndon is there.
So we'll put a link to that and a link to all your recommendations. And
absolutely. And here's what I want to ask everyone watching. Very important. Whether you like Orphans of God or not, you don't have to like it, but somebody will, and somebody will need to hear it in your life. So gift it, send it, pass it along. That's what we're asking anyone that you may think needs a little lift, and just to know that they're getting a hug from all of us on the earth, and that's what Orphans was designed for. So pass it along.
Amen. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ty. Thanks for joining us. Good luck with everything, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you, man. God bless. Thanks for spending a little time with me. I appreciate you.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Stay well. Get well. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.